So you want to talk about for loop?
Sure.
So maybe discuss. Okay. So the for loop is basically just takes an array or a list of things and then runs it through a command one at a time. So you can actually create for loop like this, where you can do, let's say it's, I don't know, use the example of cars, right? So you could do like Ford, Chevy, oops, Volkswagen, what else? I don't know, Honda. It could be anything, as long as it's a list of something, right? And then you're saying the do is like, well, what are you going to do with that list, right? So I'm just going to echo it because that's just really simple, right, for the explanation of it. So we're just going to echo back that list. And that list is represented as C, right? Because before what we've been doing is we've been assigning variables to just a single item, one thing. And that's it, right? We'd go like C equals Ford. But we didn't make C also equal Chevy, right? We only made it C equals Ford. So what C is now going to equal is this whole list that we created. Chevy, VW, Ford, Honda, right? And then you should get something like that. So basically what it does is that echo command is going to cycle through until it gets through the whole list. So it's going to run once and go echo C. And the first time it's going to echo C is it's going to take the first thing on the list, which is Ford. Then it's called a loop because then it loops again and goes back, and it'll take whatever the second thing is on the list, and it will do the same thing for the second item on that list. Does that make sense? Until it finishes once it finishes the list, it's done running. Does that make sense?
If you run like the ls command before the done, it'll show you every time it makes the loop.
Yeah, and so now instead of creating lists, you can have the computer actually create the list for you. This can actually be a text file that has a list of something in it, right? It might be websites or downloads that you want to do, and it's a whole list of downloads, and then use the wget command to just loop through, download, loop through, download this, loop through, download this. If you want to download 50 things or something like that, and then you just let it run and download them automatically for you, you know? Or the example on page 212 is a playlist, right? So they list all the music files, and then what do you do with it? You play them. So it's going to play the first one on the list, and then it'll loop back to the second one on the list, and play that one, and then loop back to the next one, and just play it until it plays everything on the list. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Mark?
Do you, when you, like in the instructions in the book, it says for D and tick ls asterisk dot wait. Now, where's the list at? It's not telling you where the list is at, though.
It is. So what's the command there? That it's ls, right?
Right.
ls is creating the list.
So this is going to be out of whatever directory you're.
Yeah, whatever directory. You have to be in the directory, right? Unless you specify the directory as part of your ls command, right?
Okay.
Which you could. That would make more sense if you did ls music /
Music, yeah.
star whatever, right?
Right.
MP3, or there they have wave. And then that would create your list, right, of songs that you want played, right? So if you're going to actually have a command create the list for you, then you either need to put these ticks. Oops, why did it go black there? No signal. All right, there we go. So you either have to use the tick, and the tick is the key up here. It's not a single quote. It's the one up here by the number 1. I don't like to use that because it's so easily confused with a single quote. So I like to do it this way with the $sign and a parentheses. And then you could put whatever command you want. You can do the ls command, which will list something for you. We'll just do that. We'll just do ls, our current directory, right? And this will actually be the same thing as if we just typed ls, right? But it kind of does it in a loop. And all we did as part of this command is we created a list running the ls command, and that brought back some detail, right? A list of something. And then what we did was we echoed it out. Now you don't have to use echo. Now all you do is you replace either your list or you replace your command that you want it to do. Right? Because let's say you don't want it to echo. Let's say you want it to back up everything that you just listed. Then you would use the tar command.
To be do tar?
Yeah, it'd be do tar, la da 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 da, whatever your tar command is.
Minus.
Right. And you would just put the C option in there at the appropriate place in your tar command.
The C string, the $C string?
Yep, yep. It would be part of your tar command, right? The part that has what you want to back up. Or it could be, like I said, anything. If you want to download stuff, you'd use wget or curl or something like that, which is just a downloader. And on your list, you would list websites or something like that of stuff you wanted to download, or you know, whatever you want to do. There, it's a playlist. They wanted to play music.
Are all the commands in for that, the A play, the, would you say, the you do get, or where it is that all in the manual?
Wget.
Is that all in the manual?
Yeah, they're just other commands. They're just commands that we've learned. Wget. I don't know if we've done that online. I think I demonstrated it once in class. But those are commands you can just learn or Google and shit. Like, say, hey, I want to know how to download something. Google how to download something in Linux command line. You'll see wget. You know, it's whatever your imagination or whatever you want to do or whatever job you need to get done, you know. And so that's basically a for loop. All right, so case. What case does is it's somewhat like an if statement, except you can pick multiple options to pick from. So do this if it's this, or do this if it's this, or do this if it's this, or do this. Do this if it's this, or 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 this if it's this, right? Where the if then is what we mostly did was just if it's this or this, right? Otherwise do this. We really didn't have tons of options, right? So what I've used it before was to kind of create like a multiple choice list that you wanted to run, or something like that. So I'd do something like this, like echo, choose a command to run, something like that. And so let's do this. We'll say number one is show me your processes. Echo 2. Show your free memory. Right. And then we're going to read it. Okay. We have some options here, and so what we want it to do is if the user selects 1, then we want it to run the PS command. If they select 2, we want them to show the memory. And we can make this 10 things long if you want, whatever else. So what you're going to do is do case. Then I'm trying to remember the syntax. I know you do. Am I missing something in the case? No. Anyway, we'll do PS-A. And then for each item that they pick, whatever it is, let's see if I'm actually getting this right.
Oh, pattern.
And then you can actually do an else. If they pick anything else, you can do a star and do like echo. You didn't pick 1 or 2. Right, anything except 1 or 2, right? And I can, like I said, I can make that 20 lines long. And I think the exercise I had you guys do, I had to create 5 things or something like that. What did I have to do? Just 2? Okay, I made it easy.
Yeah, you wanted.
Did I do this exact same thing?
No, you wanted
Okay.
PWD and LS.
Oh, okay. So it's very similar.
Yeah.
So I'm basically doing it for you guys. Yeah. And so each one, you end with 2 semicolons. And then that says just end it, because once you run it, that's it, right? So basically, it just reads what they do, and then it goes down, picks which one they picked, and it does that. Right? And then you always end it with the backwards. And I think it's work. Unless I forget. So that makes sense.
Yeah, that's good.
Lego's also.
It is. That works slow. Come on. Okay. I picked 22. And so I did the other option, right? But if I pick 2, it should do the free command.
Cool. And that asterisk.
So that's case, just like that. I mean, pretty straightforward.
That's weird.
Like I actually created this whole program to kind of create my own command line environment where it was just like, hey, what do you want to do? You want to get on the internet? Do you want to mess with your files? Do you want to do this? And then all you do is you pick menus, and then it loops back to this menu. Are you done? Yes, exit, then go back to the main menu. And things like that. So you can have this whole menuing system, or you can create like a whole multiple choice test or something. I don't know. And then you can write out all the answers to something if you wanted to. I mean,
Like a survey for fundamentals of desktop support.
there you go. Yeah, you can do a survey.
You just feed that the information they put in.
To a text file or something, yeah.